Hello, Swampy Tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy Renaissance Solo Archer Mode with me, BlueAnkylo. Episode 3, last time we killed some pirates and got into some science and testing and just trying to figure stuff out a little bit. We even successfully did a Peninsula Power Up grind, which, that's pretty cool. At the end of that episode, I realized that I'd basically run out of materials and clearly had to spend some minutes grinding. You can probably figure out via calculating, looking at the timer there, how many minutes I spent. It wasn't that bad, but it was pretty boring. All I actually did was kill imps until I had 99 fangs, because they're starting to run away, and they're the easiest way to grind fangs, like the most reliable, I think. Of all the enemies I checked, the only ones that only dropped fangs were imps. So I killed a bunch of them, crafted a bunch of arrows. So we're pretty solid on arrows for now. And then I also wanted to get some hides. So I found the easiest way to get reliably hides was actually just fighting sahags in the ocean. They're a pretty common encounter, and they don't run away much yet either. But better to get them now than wait till they all run away. At least that's in my guess there. So we're good for the moment. One other thing if you remember the discussion I had yesterday, for me, just, half an hour ago, I was talking about arrows here, and thinking the grind for the material is a bit rough for what they can do, and maybe they'd be better off as spell slots or something like that, right? Kind of that discussion. Why can you only carry 12? You can craft them in a dungeon anytime outside of battle. And you can carry 99 of each material. We're probably just going to die on turn. Okay, good start. It's Marsh Cave. I'll just talk while I walk. Walk and talk. Given that you can just craft them... Fail to run. You can just craft them anywhere. Why would you... what's the point of only carrying 12? I feel like it means nothing. You might as well just use the resources directly from your inventory to make the arrow mid-battle. I mean, I guess that's breaking the roleplay a little bit, but, there's never going to be a battle you use 12 of any arrow. I can't imagine it, really. They don't... If the effects stack, remember episode 1? I thought the Fang shot, its physical attack would stack. You keep using on the same enemy. If that's the case, maybe add that in and put a limit on how many you can carry. Probably 12's fine for something like that. But, it can't be 4. That's not enough. But, I could see theoretically limiting your capacity if they stack somehow. But other than that, it's just how many arrows can you use in one battle without doing more menuing. I mean, it's just meant to be annoying, I guess? I don't know. If you could only craft them in towns, I would sort of understand. 12 might be an okay number for a town. But at some point, then you're just using an inn to rest. Why are they any different than a spell slot, I guess? We got here. Let's see how this fight goes. That's a bad number of wizards. I don't think we're going to win this one. They don't count as humanoids last I mean, we can actually double check. Last I remember, aquatic magic beasts. So, in theory, they get slowed, but it's not as good as paralyzed. And slow just halves their attacks. I think we're probably dead here, but we'll go for a paralyze, maybe. Didn't even get the paralyze. I mean, there's no way. We'll just kill me, I guess. Yeah. I mean, 2 should be possible. I think if we one-shot them, maybe it's not even really about the status effect from the arrows. Maybe I should just use the Fang shot for the 75% damage. Assumedly, if that works. Because as long as I can kill 1 per turn, and there's only 2, we should be okay. Solo Fighter was basically like that. Solo Thief actually couldn't one-shot them. At least not reliably. I probably will want to kill some undead in here later after we succeed on this. I haven't... I'm pretty sure they dropped the ash. So if we want... Well, that doesn't even matter. What's the point? If I want to make... Yeah, double effectiveness against magic beasts. But if that only applies to the status effect rather than the damage value, which is what I think that means, we don't do magic damage, so that's absolutely worthless. Although it is kind of crazy if you can drop a magic beast's magic resistance to 0. Like, basically drop... Like, that means they're, like, auto-killed by... like, even the rub spell or something like that. You know, zap just gets everything always. Maybe even if they're resistant. Like... Would that... I have to double check. Is Chaos considered a magic beast? I doubt it. Hold on. Now I'm curious, because that would be pretty cool. I didn't think of that when I did my archer run. He's a spellcaster and a boss. But he has they've added resist silence directly. So you basically can never silence him anyway, even if you X for him down. Who else could we get? Dragon, boss, flying. Okay, Lich is technically a magic beast, but only 120 magic defense. In theory, though, would that mean magic defense by 50%, theoretically doubled if you're a magic beast. 0 magic defense, even if you resist, should... Like, Chaos has the special resistance, but his numerical 200 resistance would become 0. Oops. And the, in theory, and his resistance to, let's say, the death element would be removed. But if he has resist KO, then it doesn't matter, I guess. Okay, this is sucky. Wow. Alright, game. So anything that doesn't have, like, any vanilla enemy, I guess, outside of Chaos, in theory... Any magic beast, if he was he's not a magic beast, but like, yeah, that was I thought he might be a magic beast. That's what I keep getting caught up on. I guess you could drop his magic defense by 50% if you could still hit him with that, and at that point, 100 M defense. Other than the innate trait resistances, you might be able to get him with something else. He's immune, silence, petrify, confusion, doom, binds. I guess that's not KO. So you could probably try to rub him. If it, you know, X for the death away, arrow the magic defense down, and then you might actually get him with KO pretty easily. Yeah, definitely some thoughts. I'm trying to think of, you know, good uses for these arrows. For now, damage to try to one-shot them. That sucks. Yeah, okay. Maybe 2 is the only way we're going to have a chance here. I'm very confident our damage range can easily kill them in one hit, given that I've been seeing hits for like 200 damage. And in theory, adding 75% should be lots. I wonder... maybe this is underwhelming because it's damage... Okay, is this like a formatting thing? Is it deals damage, period, plus 75% chance of reducing their physical attacks by 4 to 8? Is that what this is? They just do regular damage? That makes them even worse. They keep getting worse. I thought it would be damage plus 75%. Or, like, damage and the chance. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe it doesn't really make sense. Damage plus 50%. Chance to inflict paralysis. Maybe the natural reading is regular, normal damage. That's so bad, though. It's like... The effectiveness should definitely do bonus damage, right? The leg shot should do... It's like using a giant slaying sword. You don't get arrows of giant slaying or dragon slaying, right? You don't get any family effective or elemental bows. So the shots should be extra effective against that specific type of enemy. Like damage value, numbered, like DPS. if all it is it's a higher chance or like a guaranteed chance to inflict a status. That might be all it is. Maybe I've been misunderstanding. Someone's probably been yelling at me in the comments. It's a disaster. But really, like, I didn't think they'd be that bad. Come on. Come on. Nobody dies to gargoyles. Oh, that's not even one of the hard encounters in here. I mean, it's not easy, but... Oh, Archer, what are you doing to me? This is not good. Remember I said he had a reasonably good agility and luck stat? It's better than his other stats. It's not reliable for running, I guess. I guess this is where we get our gel, but same problem. We don't... If you can only use the gel arrow, like the arrow from gel on magic beasts to reduce their magic, if it doesn't do any bonus damage, and all it does is reduce their magic defense, that's so incredibly niche. Like, it's kind of difficult to craft, and the number of enemies that's actually going to make any difference on is... Like, the silence arrow is already fairly niche. A lot of spellcasters you just want to kill. The idea of, like, silencing them is like, yeah, that's nice, but you should just kill them because they have low HP because they're spellcasters. So, the number of things you want to silence that you can't kill is pretty slim. Not zero, but, like, there's not a lot. But I would give the mute arrow, like, that's okay, I could see that. Also, was a mute arrows were a thing in FF4, so hey, I'm down with the vibe. Dropping magic defense. Yeah, if you've got like a black mage or something, especially actually like red mages or blue mages, anyone with the status affliction spells, like they probably love that. Maybe it's like unresistible, it's non-elemental or whatever. So it's just like a 50% chance. So even Chaos, you give him minus 100 M defense, and your nukes are going to do more damage because he's going to roll the save for half less often. Still, that's not how you usually deal with Chaos, right? Like, should I look up the if there's only one creep, maybe we shoot it, or crawl, whatever they're called. 84 HP, no family type, of course. But yeah, if we could paralyze the crawl or something, or just kill it, those encounters wouldn't be nearly as bad. Failing to run is trouble on those, right? Here we go again. Come on, Irvine. I thought you were good at running away. Oh, man. This is rough. Almost dead to werewolves, dead to gargoyles. Come on, buddy. Win! Okay, good encounter. We still go for the paralyze, the best option, I think. It is... Yeah. Funny game. Hilarious. Okay. Proof of concept. Defeating 2 wizards. Probably gonna work most of the time. Marsh at this level should be quite doable. Come on, he goes first. Oh, you're kidding me, man. Well, hey, we beat the wizards. We know it can be done. Let's just grind it out. What should we talk about for today's marsh grind? I already labeled most of the enemies down here, right? Scums are green slimes. Arachnids are just giant spiders. Giant venomous spiders. There's 2 types, I guess. No phase spiders, thankfully. Bones, do I have to explain it? Skeletons? Too bad we don't have a cleric that can turn undead. Actually, I wouldn't even use it there. I'd use it on those dang specters. Ambush, huh? Yeah, right. Fine, game. You win. I'm not even going to watch. You can't kill me if I reset time. Shadows are classic D&D enemies too, although they work a little differently in 5th edition, and I think even older editions. Their main gimmick is like draining your strength. I guess a lot of undead in the old games drained your level as well. Yeah, I didn't figure we'd live that. Yeah, getting ambushed is not good. I don't have to explain that. That's all we do is get ambushed down here. And that, okay. Thematically, shouldn't rangers be good at detecting enemies, survival checks, not getting ambushed? I know ninjas got this never get ambushed, get more preemptive strike thing because they're stealthy ninjas. I guess ninjas getting ambushes makes sense, but like rangers, that's kind of what they do too. I don't know. Maybe that would give this guy some life if he had a similar thing, reduced chance of ambushes or increased chance of first strikes, you know. Okay, well we paralyzed the crawl. Let's see if we can escape. Oh, come on. Well, it's a good thing we used our stun rather than our run, because we would have failed the run. Probably. Here we go. Alright. Still, I think that's the right play for crawls. You can't stun 6 specters, but 1 crawl is reasonable. Here we go. Good encounter size. Good turn order. Good paralyze. Let's go for the non-paralyzed one. Of course, we fail. Shouldn't matter anymore. Damage should kill. Yeah, I think as long as you've got the paralyzing arrow, two wizards is definitely doable. 3 is like probably okay, but you need to paralyze or 1 shot every shot. You can't. It's like you can't afford to miss if there's 3. And 4, I think you're dead. So still, that's reasonable chances of winning that fight. That was preemptive. We can go. Thank you. Come on, Marsh. Give me something. Just give me something. I grinded against imps for like half an hour just to make a bunch of arrows. I'm hoping I don't have to do another imp grind for this Let's Play. Because, boy, you don't get much XP or gold for that. Just the ability to make arrows that are varying utility. Okay, we should be good. No crawls in this encounter means we win. I think. Famous last words. No encounters, though. We're good. Okay. Well, I did use some of these, but like I said, I grinded some spares, so no problems, right? You know, maybe you could make the arrows better if you could not craft them inside a dungeon. Like, maybe world map is fine. Kind of makes sense you're camping or something. Anywhere you can use a tent. You could have a flag for that. There must be some sort of variable for can use houses, flags, tents. Or some way of tracking it, basically. And you could use the same thing for crafting magic arrows. And then having 12 for a dungeon, that might make some sense. I still think they should be better, but I'm trying to think of a way of balancing them, because I kind of like the idea of having unique mechanics. You know, they're not just another spell. They shouldn't work like a spell slot, but, you know. It's just such an arbitrary number. You can craft 12, and then use a bunch in a battle and craft them all back up to 12. You can also carry around 99 of every material. Anyway, Astos. Well, you know, here is that one time when we definitely want silence. Unfortunately, when he goes first, we lose. I think if we go first, we win. If he goes first, he wins. That's all this is. It's an initiative roll. First person to get a turn wins. We win. Because it was 100% silence chance, right? Because he's a spellcaster. Let's just headshot him, right? Yeah, of course we get the petrify just to really rub it in. I mean, obviously we could have, if you knew you were going to get a petrify, you could have just gone with that. I expect that's like the easiest boss for the hunter. Literally nothing he can do. Basically, he has to go first and one-shot us, or else he loses. He doesn't actually count as a humanoid, so it wasn't 100% chance to hit him with the headshot, but still. All right, well, at least we found our advantage. We're way better against Astos than a solo thief. It's we don't need any levels really at all. You can do that as low level. At whatever level you can survive Marsh, you can kill Astos. That's easy. Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed the best part of the solo challenge, probably. I mean, he got us once, but we styled on him a bit. Okay, let's do our fetch quests and start thinking about what comes next. Good news, we can buy a new bow once we're out of here. Should always take sharks, because I kind of want the tails. Not a lot of ways to get tails right now. There you go, got one. I went the wrong way. Excuse me, I'm just switching to equipment page in the background here. Okay, yeah. So there's a bell. There is a bow for sale at Crescent and Melman, depending on which one we want. I guess I'll take some hides off these guys. Would I rather have an iron bow or a silver bow? Almost certainly the silver bow. Yeah, probably. So the silver bow, seeing as we're just fighting Sahags here, it's gonna take a while. The silver bow's at Crescent Lake, which is probably what you would assume to be the more advanced version than Melman, technically. And that's one thing. Also, silver is usually a rarer metal than iron, although, you know, in the real world, silver does not make amazing weapons. A bow made of silver would be very heavy, but sure, whatever. It's fine. I'm not arguing. I'm just saying that silver's not light. It's also not incredibly dense, and well, it's dense enough, but it's not incredibly durable, I guess. I'm trying to think, like steel of iron is more resilient. That's the word. Anyway, so silver bow, 15 damage base, 25 hit, and 25 crit. Just an all-round upgrade over our current bow. Iron bow, however, 20 attack, so 5 more base damage, but 0 boost to hit percent. How much that matters is really questionable, because I still have really no idea how much hit percent affects damage for the archer. It clearly adds some amount of the hit percent. Maybe you could take that to be 25 hit is around 5 damage. I was thinking about a quarter of it would make sense. Maybe 1 to 5, 5 to 1, 4 to 1, something in that range. Maybe 3 to 1. I doubt it's much higher than that, though, based on my tests. But I think the main thing is you lose 10% crit, right? Having 25% base crit has got to be better than 5 points of damage anyway, maybe? Maybe not? I don't know. We will be able to get even more crit off of our scarf. So, in theory, we can get to 35 crit base. If only we could make multi-attacks. That would be pretty solid. An archer with a time mage or someone with fast. A dancer. You know, archer, dancer. I still think the archer is terrible, but there are definitely some synergies, right? You know, when you only get 1 attack, doubling it is pretty good. Or tripling it. Yeah, 3 really strong attacks is about 3 times as good. I mean, you can say that about 8 attacks into 24 attacks is about 3 times as good as well. So, it's not unique, but I think it's this kind of thing the archer really needs is the multi-swing. I guess we can have a look at the daggers. I doubt they're going to compete, though. Seeing as you can get multi-attack with daggers, but the best of those will be the cat claw. I don't think we can equip the new dancer daggers as an archer. We can double check when we find them. They'll start showing up, but I mean, you can see our DPS here. Our average arrow damage is definitely going up. You have to pay close attention there, watching on the YouTubes when it flies by at light speed. But it's definitely noticeable. There's a silver dagger. Can we equip silver armor? No. Oh, come on, it's like mithril armor. It should be light. Okay, we can't equip anything. Cool. Other than silver daggers. Let's put them right beside each other. So, we would get 3 attacks, but our crit rate's way lower, and we're doing no hit percent bonus. So we would be averaging around 30 damage times 3-ish. In theory, that's about 90, but only with no absorb. An ogre has about 10 absorb, so we would be doing more like 60 damage per triple attack on daggers. I have a feeling that's not as strong as our bow. And I don't think you can use your special shots then. I don't know. There's a 50. That's less than 60. There's a 60. That's about the average that the dagger might have done. That's less. Well, that's even less. I mean, I guess we could just test it out for a minute. I actually definitely did not mean to use the house. I was going to go back to the heal potion and then use a tent. But... oops. Okay, let's just swing daggers for a second here. 3 hits, 69. The Sawhogs probably have a little bit less armor than Ogre. We still got a crit for 180. Oh, it just feels so much more reliable. Seeing 3 hits for decent damage. Oh, man, I'm sorry, bow. But we're going to get a better bow right away. Even though this is so much more reliable right off the bat. It's just, suddenly the swings are all like, yeah, we're doing pretty reliably 70 or 80 damage. It's like, oh, I missed this. I missed this so much. Anyway, this is where we'll get our iron bow if you want it. Because of the 0 hit and the lowered crit compared to the other bow, I don't think that's the one we want. If you're, for some reason, refusing to go to Crescent Lake, then I guess that's all you get, but I don't know why you'd skip... Did I? No. I don't know why you would skip Crescent Lake, especially on a solo challenge, but even in a group challenge, unless you're way overpowered, yeah, just go to Crescent, get some extra gear. There's some good stuff, depending on your class. You probably should not be getting level 6 spells before you do Earth Cave, but, you can get silver axe or some silver equipment. I guess there's not a lot. It depends on your jobs. There are some new ones, like there's a silver spear and... I don't know. There's at least a spear and a bow. Scarves, right? So if you're using scarves, you probably want to go here. So I guess, like, using the silver dagger, it's pretty unlikely we one-shot the shark, but we can, and we will pretty reliably always two-shot it. And in terms of crits, we're basically going from 3 times 2.5%, like 3 chances at 2.5%. It's not exactly 7.5, but you can assume it's sort of like that. So it's only like half the crit rate, kind of. It's not exactly the same, I know, but... Actually, the crits are even better on the dagger, because then they ignore defense. Whereas the bow is kind of having a more piercing effect, the way the damage is added up first. Yeah, the dagger will definitely be worse against high armor enemies, that's for sure. And then losing access to your sneaky paralyzes is probably enough to convince me that we should always be using the bow, really. But I figured I should think about it a little. Yeah. Better scarf. Easy. And silver bow. So like I said, the iron bow does hit harder in terms of base damage, but you would lose 25 hit rate, and that's a lot, I think. And then the 10 crit. I don't know. Maybe the developer thinks 3 damage is worse. No, it's 5 damage. 5 damage would be worth 25 hit. I don't know. That sounds like a lot to me. Anyway, Elven Bow clearly obsolete. And I forgot to put my scarf. Okay. So that puts me at 91. That's pretty good. I mean, again, the scarf works with the daggers too. So we'd be getting a 4th swing eventually. But I think, yeah, daggers, I think I mentioned this earlier. If you're stat maxing strength, if you're doing that level up shenanigans, we would have... Oh, we could have quite a few more points of strength by now if we tried. We might have like 22, 23 damage. And then getting those extra swings would make even bigger impact. It helps with the bow, but not as much as the daggers. Okay, so then it is time to start thinking. What do we need to deal with a vampire? Are we already ready for a vampire? We're not going to be silencing this one. Humanoid, you could go for the one-shot. I guess it's like a 2/3 chance, right? Because it should always work. Because he's humanoid, strictly speaking. So if we go headshot... it should be a 100% chance to inflict one of blind, confusion, or stone. If he's confused, he basically loses. Probably, because I can just do it again next turn. Blind, maybe he wins. Stone, we win immediately. So I think the vampire fight should be resolved. I actually think the Lich fight is also resolved because, well, the Lich can still hit pretty hard. But usually you're scared of the spells. This should work 100% on the Lich, right? It's undead spellcaster, pretty sure. It's also a magic beast, but that doesn't matter. So yeah, we can silence it for sure. No point slowing it. Maybe rather than trying to deal damage, we just go for the 50% chance to turn to stone or something. So we go silence and then headshot on the Lich as well. Whereas the vampire we just go headshot. I mean, we could also just go straight to the headshot for the Lich as well and hope for that stone chance. Even the confusion, again, same thing. But it would only be, he's not humanoid, so it'd be 33% chance to get confusion or stone, because you have to hit and then not get blind. So 50% and then 2/3. Whereas the vampire, it'll be a 66% chance to finish the fight. Probably finish the fight. You could also go for paralyze. That's a 50% chance. So yeah, I guess that's against the Lich. Maybe silence first, paralyze, and then kill it however you want. Because if you silence for sure, he could swing and paralyze us, but we probably get a couple tries. We got a 50% chance. So I actually don't think either boss is particularly hard. So it just comes down to our luck. Giant wizard packs are going to absolutely kill us. Giant undead packs are going to be really bad. Cockatrice. So, like, it kind of comes down to, like, when do I feel ready to deal with the encounters in Earth? The bosses probably shouldn't be an issue at all. Or at least pretty low chance of being an issue. If I want to grind here, we can. But then I have to... I have to remake all my arrows. Oh, that's the wrong one again. I mean, maybe we don't need to use too many. How much damage are we doing here? That was a pretty good hit. Maybe I don't have to use too many arrows here, like special arrows. Because that's the main thing. If I'm grinding and I have to spend fancy arrows to survive, it's not going to be a good time. I mean, we have that silver bracelet now. 17 absorb is definitely an upgrade. We were at 10 a minute ago. There's nothing else we could do to help with that. So we can't really do big groups. Armor's way too weak, and we don't have any sweepers at all. So 1v1, we can probably take out pretty much anything at our current level. So you could go to the Hall of Giants, but still, 2 ogres and 2 iguanas would suck. Maybe you could grind on Earth Elementals? There's trap tiles where you'd only fight this. He hits too hard. You could go for the stun. I don't think that's as efficient as here. It's just like it's a guaranteed 1v1 every time, but unless we can reliably hit for 250, and I mean, we're nowhere near that, right? I mean, maybe a couple levels? Maybe. But by a couple levels, I mean, like, probably many. I'm trying to think of when other classes did solo Earth successfully. Anybody that has a sweeper spell can go now. The monk starts getting a lot of magic resistance, and the fighter gets a fair bit. Oh, man. Yeah, we definitely take a lot of damage. Those enemy wizard packs in Earth are going to be bad. I mean, they were real bad for the thief, too. So, like, the thief didn't generally do Earth until he was, like, level 25. This is what I was thinking. Now, the thief also can't kill Astos until he's probably pushing 23. So, I think, I'm trying to remember, I'm not going to win against 3. It's hard to autopilot, too, because we can't win too many of the battles here without doing some paralysis or something. Didn't even get it. Should have used another one. Well, just get a crit. Sure. Suddenly we're just one-shotting them. But I think that's very crit-based. Yeah, when would this... I guess like a comparison... No, the fighter's got way more armor. Solo monk. When would we do Earth Cave with a solo monk? That might be the closest. The monk gets a lot more magic defense, though. 4 per level is twice as much as we're getting. Should have paralyzed. Maybe we'll get a luck. Sure. Cool. Just be lucky. Just gotta get lucky. Every time I use one of those arrows, I'm like, oh boy, there's another fight of grinding. There's another pack of imps, or there's another pack of sahags. I don't think I would take the black belt in until 22. Whatever level he gets his 6th attack. And at that point, his magic defense is pretty crazy. Well, compared to us. That's 21 levels. That's 84 magic defense plus his base. Almost immune to stun touch at that point. Whatever. I think he starts with like 10 magic defense. So he needs, I think he needs 90 to be immune. Like 90 from level ups, which is 23 levels. So yeah, that sounds right to me. About level 23 or 24 is somewhere where status hits just don't matter to him anymore. So that's probably when I would send the black belt in, just because then you don't have to worry about it. He also gets a ton of hit points. Yeah, okay, 3 peds is too much. Don't try those. Is there anywhere that we could grind more efficiently? There's a lot of groups we can't win against. Good paralyze. Nice little crit. Bigger crit. Okay, pretty good. We can reliably take down 2 trolls or 2 giants. That's not too bad. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else that'd be better than this. You could go back to the Peninsula of Power, but there's no inn right beside, so you'd have to bring... Like, you'd be chugging down the heal potions. And fighting pretty similar, like, the double giants is kind of the ideal fight up by Peninsula Power anyway. You could do double Zomble for like a couple hundred more HP, but or a couple hundred more XP, but it's probably not worth the trouble. The single Tyro actually not bad. Let's just make regular attack. Oh, nice. Yeah. I guess if I wasn't recording, I mean, this might be where I break my episode and grind it up a bit, but I think still faster than the Evoker. The Evoker at this point had a similar issue where they didn't have too much difficulty killing bosses with the Goblin Summon, but they were probably worse against random encounters because they had a lower running chance and, well, the same armor. They couldn't really waste too many goblins. They had less like consistent damage. I don't know. I guess it's pretty similar. That was the wrong one, by the way. Of course. Gotta go for the paralyze when there's two. I bet you we have a decent chance killing the vampire and getting out at our current level. I feel like the trip to the Lich is longer. There's more on the line. At least we get fangs out of the peds. That helps restock a little bit. Yeah, I have been watching the, oh, that was a terrible level up. Just vitality, I think. Yeah, I mean, assuming our arrows are mostly rechargeable, I can use them a bit for sure. Maybe we're past the point, seeing as I did the major grind for 99 fangs, where we can use them when we want. That's just the problem with the grind. Like, if I'm going to fight 100 of these things, I'm going to run out, you know. Probably. It's kind of funny using a leg shot on a ped with 100 legs. Okay, thanks. We're at that point already where we can't even... This is why leveling, grinding on these classes sucks. You finally kill something, you finally get strong enough you can kill it, they just run away before you finish them off. It's even worse when you're expending, like, materials like that. You miss the paralyzed and they run away and they just take your arrow with them. I think we're basically a thief that has higher critical. That's kind of the way I'm thinking about it. Our average damage, bad. But every time we get a crit, you're like, oh yeah, we can do awesome. But it's like a thief that 25% of the time is cool. Because we get a good crit. Should have gone for... And technically we can expend extra grinding to have a better success rate. And that was just a kill. We didn't even get a paralyzed there. Yeah, we just need the rolls to go good. Like, just roll good. I guess, like, in principle, I don't mind having a weapon class that works with a higher range. It's a nice differentiation from some of the other weapons. But... that we failed two 50-50 flips for paralyzed, so we lose, basically. Unless I get good turn order and a crit. Yeah. Giants are about as good as it gets. Just because we get the 100% paralyzed if I need it. Is there anywhere to grind frost giants or fire giants? I don't think they have any trap tiles, do they? That'd be cool. I wish there was. They're pretty good XP, I think. And, like, they might both be unrunnable, so they should have a trap tile, right? Like, I don't think so. Trying to think of another place where that leg shot would be extra good for grinding. Like, there's other enemies that count as giants. maybe? Okay, I have to check now. What else could be a giant? You know, ogres are sort of giants. Yeah, but that doesn't really matter. What about whiz ogres? They're pretty tough. There are trap tiles with whiz ogres. Yeah, giant regenerative spellcaster, humanoid. So you can have all kinds of arrows if you want. Headshot them, silent shot them, paralyze. Good. Is it just ogres and giants? Even the, you know, minotaurs and zombies didn't get giant status. The dinosaurs are often dragons, which is cool. Flying dragons for wyvern. Trolls are not considered giant. That's questionable. It should be a giant shark. It should totally be giant. Soria is considered a dragon. That's interesting. It's basically a basilisk, right? That's strange. A giant. I guess because they're also humanoid. It's kind of interesting the way they designed all this stuff. I mean, I have a fair number of eyes and blood, so we could always try to just get that lucky one shot. I didn't save after I crafted my arrows. That's gonna happen. Well, let's try to get one more level up before I run out of time for today. I think... I don't really feel very confident going into Marsh like this. Or Earth. Marsh was bad enough. We did get through Marsh after... not that many attempts. I think we died to the wizards 3 times. So our boss killing potentials will be better than that against Vampire and Lich, I think. I would probably say it favors us to win both those fights. So the question is just, can we survive the encounters? Which, well... you know, if you run into 4 wizards, do we just die? I should have attacked the bottom one. I haven't got crits. Maybe? Oh, come on. Trolls. Trolling me. It's like they're built for this. Just give me that glimmer of hope that we might win. I don't know. It's a lot of peds. Maybe. One ran away. Maybe that's fine. We got them both paralyzed. Bottom one's almost dead. Yeah, sure. Double ped. Take it. Yeah, I don't think the grind XP, like, the time to level up here is not bad. If I was to spend an hour leveling up here, we could get quite high. Maybe you should also be doing that. I don't know. I'm not even going to bother. Either they run away or they just demolish me. It's not worth it. I could see trying around level 20 or 21. This puts our magic defense at 50, so 50-50 to get stunned, except they attack 3 times, so it's really more like... Assuming I'm doing the math right, it's like 1 in 8 to not be stunned every time they hit us. It's pretty bad. If 8 isn't that crazy, luck is not crazy. It's not bad. All we could really do... I don't even know if we can get wings yet. Not like it really matters. No. Actually, it might be nice if you're fighting the Lich. If you didn't have access to good stuff, you could remove their stun touch. But, I mean, it doesn't matter. Wing shot's got to be one of the worst shots for sure. I keep thinking it does double damage. If this did double damage to dragons like Tyro, that would be really cool. But it does not. I don't think it does. Well, you know what? We got like 10 more minutes. Why not? We go for a whole hour. Where else are you gonna go? Listen to some chill Final Fantasy music and listen to me plot how I'm gonna survive the Earth Cave? Maybe I'll do a couple headshots just for fun. Bam, petrified. Can we do 2 encounters without saving? Probably shouldn't have, because now I get stuck in something like this. Oh, that's right. I should keep shooting stuff to get more resources. Yeah. Farming for materials. What is this? Some sort of MMO? I wonder... I've had this thought before, actually. Like, is the developer for Renaissance like a big Final Fantasy 11 and 14 fan or something? Because maybe some of the mechanics and skills are coming from there. Like the charge summon taking a while, maybe, or I don't know where that could come from. But they could have done summons the way Final Fantasy X did. Well, that would have been awesome. Imagine your summoner swippity swapped with the monster, and then it fought in their place. That would actually have been... That's probably a lot more work. It's basically what the Beastmaster does, except it would be better. Oh, that'd be so cool. I mean, Final Fantasy X was pretty awesome, so stealing from them makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. Is there a Final Fantasy that has summons that actually take 2 turns to show up? Like, it's instant in Final Fantasy 3. They get called randomly until you're promoted. Each level has like a random set, and then when you're promoted, you get to pick the good ones. So like, Evokers sucked in FF3, but were pretty good once you got summoners, if I remember correctly. Rydia summons them instantly. FF5 summons were instant and honestly very strong. Especially if you could boost them with the elemental wands and stuff. 6 didn't really have summons the same, but you could use your materia, but it was instant, of course. 7 oh, well, Esper's materia, same difference, right? In 7, you just equipped it and used it like a spell, and it was instant, right? 8 had the, like, tap while the animation was going, but in terms of the turn order, it happened immediately. I guess in, like, Final Fantasy IV, the ones with the active time system, I guess there was, like, a charge mechanic for your summons. So technically, Bahamut took a little bit longer than a melee attack. So maybe that's what they're thinking? Like, it's not instant, but it's fast. It doesn't take very long. I don't think it takes, like, a whole extra round. Man, they just keep waking up. We're just dead. Like, just getting hosed by the Peds waking up. Oh, we got lucky there. Wow. I managed to kill the 2 that broke out. And not die. Just about died to poison damage. That would have been fun. So maybe that's the idea. They're taking the FF4 charge mechanic, but I don't think it's normally 2 rounds. Especially the low-level summons. It's like a little bit slower than attacking, but not much. It's not like casting Medio. Medio takes for friggin' ever, but the summons aren't that bad. But I'm trying to think of what else is slow like that. Like, I get, like I said, Final Fantasy X, Yuna, like, switches place with them, but don't they make an attack the turn they show up? I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure that's, like, their summon big spell. Does, like, mega damage. I don't know, it's been a long time. 9 was certainly just use, like, a spell. How did it work in 9? I think it was just a lot of MP. They're very expensive to summon, right? I think. We're getting smashed by trolls again. Well, if we can't get any paralyzes off, I guess we die. Maybe. Sure. Prove me wrong, game. Prove me wrong. Yeah, those are the only ones I'm super... I don't really know. The MMOs are weird, how summoners work. I did play FF14 a bit. The summoners just sort of have their summons with them all the time. And then you, like, charge up and change form or something. I can't remember how it all works. It changes as you go through the levels anyways. It's not really consistent. I didn't really play 15. 15 doesn't... 15 summons are the worst. They're just, triggered randomly in the environment. I think I played through the whole game, and other than the scripted summons, I never saw them. Because they only happen when you're about to die, but in a specific zone, under certain conditions, and then you click an active time button in quick enough that you get them, and then you just insta-win if it happens. But I was really mad with that one. Didn't play 16. 12. How did 12 work? Was that the quickening thing? I don't know 12 very well. Yeah, I think that whole extra turn charging is, I don't know, just made up. That's not necessary. At least the aim... Well, Rosa had aim. That's where it's coming from, FF4, right? And FF5 Archer Rangers had... Did they have aim? I think they did. It just, you almost never used it. Right? You just grinded for quad attack. Why don't we have X attack? Why do these guys not get that? I guess their limit, right? But it's just once. I don't want it to be just once. Even the way the bow works with one shot, targeting 4 enemies at like half damage per shot. There you go. Why don't you just make a skill quad shot? You take 4 half power shots at random targets, and then you have 1 turn of fatigue. Because you do half your damage times 4, which is double your damage, except you're splitting it, and you don't get to choose the targets. And they get more, like their absorb factors into it larger. So you're not doing exactly double damage, unless it's single target, 0 armor. But, you know, you optimally would do double damage. But then you can't do it every turn, so you have to do something else in between. That would be fine. Just give me that, like, at level 1. It's fine. It's not that big. It's not that good. They wouldn't even kill the imps at that level. You'd have to hit the same imp twice to get a kill. Pretty sure. The charge aim, I don't think there's any redeeming quality with that. I really can't think of a time where I would want to just aim, waste. Like, would you rather try to kill something or wait around and then try to kill it next turn? Is there anything about this that I'm missing? I think it'd be better. Would it be better if it just did 2 shots? I don't know. I really struggle to think of when I would take 1 shot after 2. It's very much like the summoner. Double power, but you have to survive a turn to get it. Like, what's the use case? If you can't kill something in 1 hit, but you can kill it in 2 hits, then it's about the same. Like let's imagine it does exactly double damage. Waiting a turn and then doing double damage is the same as doing normal damage twice, if it always takes 2 hits to kill that target. But that doesn't, like, we have friends. Like, you can't ignore the rest of the team. What if you have a mage with fire 2, and they also halfway kill an enemy? Then you kill 1 on 1 turn and 1 on the 2nd turn. So it's already worse, even if it's exactly the same. Because you're not in a vacuum. You got to consider the party. And with crits, wouldn't you rather attack on turn 1? If you get a crit, you kill it immediately, and then you can attack another enemy. Whereas you don't attack on turn 1, there's 0 chance of getting that kill. And if you get a crit on the 2nd turn, it doesn't matter because you were already going to kill it anyway. Like, I'm really trying to think of when would aim be better than normal. And I know aim it does technically do more than double damage, but that's why I'm trying to think of it in terms of number of attacks. You would need a creature that has exactly the HP that 2 regular attacks won't kill it, but a 2.2 times damage attack would kill it. I don't think such a thing exists. That the damage range is too wide, and that's kind of one of the downsides of the way the bow works, is it's got a really large range anyway. Because you're not doing multiple attacks, it's just one big range. There's less averaging. So, a 2.2 times multiplier, but if you roll the minimum, I'm probably dead, but a headshot. We got the darkness. Yay! Yeah, I think maybe if it did triple damage rather than a little bit more than double, even then it would still be a hard, like that's how bad I think it is. I think waiting a turn to do triple damage is probably, especially the way the bow works, like maybe with a normal sword, like punch, because usually focuses on the monks, right? Maybe I would use it if you did triple damage every second turn. Sometimes. But that's an enemy you can't kill in 2 hits. So you're saving 1 turn, maybe, assuming you don't have friends helping you. And if there's friends helping you, it's still not necessarily good. I really think those focus abilities, they're built for enemies that counterattack you. If you're going to take a counterattack every time you hit them, charge it up and do the most you can in a single hit. Of course, that makes sense. That's the classic Super Nintendo era mechanic. A lot of enemies in Final Fantasy 4 and 5, and a couple in 6, they're counter bosses, where if you just swing with your wizards to do 1 damage, they get, well, antlion, basically. We learned not to do that, right? But there's no such thing in Final Fantasy 1. So with no enemies that counter, the use of the weight charge, you need way more value. I guess that's the thing. You could do double damage if you're, and like 2 turns to do the same average damage by charging and then doing a double damage shot. If you are bypassing an enemy mechanic, that's part of the design, then it becomes useful in those fights, at least. I guess theoretically you could charge while the mage was buffing you with fast and haste. So there's ways of taking advantage of it. But turn order is a bitch. So I guess you'd spend a couple turns aiming while you're getting hasted and power gloved or tempered up. Yeah. Yeah, that would work. Is that what it's meant for? Again, fairly niche. Like, I'll accept that is probably the best I can come up with, honestly. Maybe you've got a spell blade that's going to use enchant fire on you. You've got a time wizard that's going to fast to you, and someone else uses a power glove on you, and you just use your aim. And then on the second turn, you unleash for 220%, plus all of those buffs at the same time. That's probably as good as it could ever get. But that's using the whole party to buff up the archer. They're not that strong. That's still not going to do as much damage as probably everyone just doing their, like... I mean, if you brought a black belt, you should just cast fast on them and have them start punching immediately, and you're gonna kill the boss quicker most of the time. At least in my experience. Anyway, we're over an hour. I've probably grinded enough. Maybe, I don't know. I never know. What level are we at? 21? Sure. I might get... I don't know. I don't trust that magic defense. I don't trust that luck stat. I think I'm probably going to get a couple more levels between now and the Earth Cave next episode. You see what I'm doing. It's pretty mindless. I can watch another dinosaur video. Our damage increases one little step at a time, but our chance to avoid stun dead packs and wizards remains basically the same. Just very, very... about a 2% better survival every level. The magic defense growth rate. And besides, we're going to need the levels for ice anyway. So it doesn't even matter. Well, we actually might be able to grind Agamas. Maybe. Ordeals to the gold bracelet. And then Volcano to the Agamas, maybe. So I just need to grind enough to kill the Lich, and then we want to get out of here, probably. Probably. Assuming we can fight Carry like that. Yeah, Carry will be fine, I think. The bosses aren't the problem. Volcano won't be that bad, I don't think. So it's just get enough that we can survive Earth, power up a little bit at Ordeals. Also, that gives us the Zeus Glove, which will be our first AoE. Woo! Finally an AoE. Not a great one, but something. Okay, so I don't want to overlevel because we're going to have a better grind pre-Ice Cave. And Ice Cave is longer than Earth. Worse than Earth. Earth is bad, but Ice is worse. The worst. Okay, I got a plan. I'll see you guys next episode. So far, Archer, I'm not loving it. I would actually grade them slightly more reasonable than the Evoker, though. Because I was doing that right before this one, and I can pretty confidently say the Evoker sucked harder. But maybe with high-level summons, they will feel better if I ever get them. They might not be possible. I don't know if you can solo Bahamut. You probably can't. So they'll probably never get that. I don't know if they can solo any of the high-level summons, honestly. Summoner is not very good solo. It might be the worst solo class, honestly. Maybe. Tier list time. Anyway, let's end this here. Thanks for watching, folks. Hope you've enjoyed. I will see you next time for some Earth attempts. Surely it won't be too bad? Question mark? Have a great day.